Hello, I know I'm a day behind with this, but I'm gonna do today's and obviously yesterday, which is what I'm doing right now. So I should say in that sentence, yesterday's and today's back to back. Upload them, and hopefully people will be able to watch them. And it is very late tonight, so I'm gonna try to get through everything before getting to bed, which is gonna be difficult because I'm tired. But first things first, we are going to be looking at the anointing at Bethany. And so the very first day this week, so Monday, we only looked at a few of the like two verses, yeah, and the fact that they were planning on how to murder Jesus Christ. But it takes kind of a shift in the narrative, and it goes to Bethany, obviously, and we begin with this. So in verse 3, while he was in Bethany at the house of Simon the leper, as he was reclining at the table, a woman came with an alabaster alabast alabaster jar of a very expensive perfume of pure nard. She broke the jar and poured it on his head. But some were expressing a indignation to one another. Why has this perfume been wasted? For this perfume might have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor. And they began to scold her. Excuse me. Before I get into the response of Jesus to his disciples, what's interesting is that this gospel does not specifically say who kind of uh, gets onto her about what she does, and it doesn't even kind of give any indication of anyone else, any specific person. But in a lot of ways, that does make some argument. I remember not word for word what Christ says, but you know it's understanding to have that confusion that they're having. They're like, wait, why is she doing this when we could sell it? It could be given to the poor. That is a valid argument, but were they right in their hearts, especially when there are people that in a situation like this mentions Judas saying something like this and doing it in a manner that was selfish and wanting to have the money for himself. But, you know, Judas, that's silly Judas. Now, continuing verse 6, this is Christ's response. Leave her alone. Why are you bothering her? She has done a noble thing for me. You always have the poor with you, and you can do what is good for them whenever you want, but you do not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body in advance for burial. Truly, I tell you, whatever the gospel is, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her. So he was praising her actions, and also if you pay attention, sorry, I just keep yawning. The woman is never named in this gospel, and you see that he tells them to leave her alone. She's not bothering. Stop bothering her. She and he goes on to say immediately after, stop bothering her, or why are you bothering her? She's done a noble thing. And what I love is the fact that I don't really love this because it is hard to see, poor people always with us. But knowing that the poor is always with us means that we have the opportunity to do things for them always. The fact that next week is Thanksgiving, and it's a great time of the year to just be remember to be thankful for things. You know, I was talking to my friend Jacob, and we were talking about he asked the question. He was like, "You need one day to be thankful," as like just a back and forth conversation that we're having, and that was just the question that he asked. But it's one of those things for me. It's not that I need one day to be thankful, but I do believe that we as a nation, especially uh, where we are as a nation, need to be reminded to be thankful. I don't think everyone thinks about it. I'm gonna get more into that next week, because that's next week and everything. But that's just an idea. That's just a thought I have. Anyways, continuing. Um, and then I love that in verse 9 he says, "Truly I tell you, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." So he's pretty much saying the goodness of what she's done will be remembered, and I do love that, because women, especially in this day and age, in the time frame of what was happening, was not praised, was not favored. Women weren't looked at as much at all, really. And people always say how sexist the Bible is, but this is another piece of proof that they praise that Christ was many who praised the actions of a woman. And so, but going from 10 through 11 here, then Judas Iscariot, the one of the 12, went to the chief priests to betray Jesus to them. And when they heard this, they were glad and promised to give him money. So he started looking for a good opportunity to betray him. Now, I find this interesting because either I don't remember or it's been a minute since I've looked at this, so I forgot completely. But it's such an interesting aspect that it was after this specific event that he was like, "No, I'm going to betray him." We don't know the full understanding of why he betrayed Christ, why he turned his back on him. And I saw this video yesterday evening, where this man was asking, why did God create people that he knows are gonna just not accept him? Isn't that cruel, evil, to create someone and um that knowing that they're not going to accept you. And it's one of those situations where, like, I don't have all the answers, but I know that God gives us the free will to choose, and God knows that you have that option of choosing him or not. He wants the whole world to choose the freedom of the freedom that Christ brings, but you have to first choose it, and because it's been given to you, but you have to choose it. And so it's a complicated thing for most people, but I digress from the main thing of what we were talking about. So this just a little off topic thing. When I searched images of like being anointed at Bethany, or this is the best picture I could find. So there's that. But the next video, we are getting ready for the Passover, which I'm excited for, because preparing for the Passover is always a very exciting moment. I will get to Mere Christianity as hopefully as soon as I am done with everything else tonight. So I will see you guys on the flip side.